Okay guys, today what we're going to do, we're going to make a little video about the backhoe. We're not going to make a video about running the backhoe. We're going to make a video about checking the linkage and doing a linkage adjustment on the backhoe. When you're operating these controls, there's a linkage that goes from the controls down to the valves that open the valves up. And from time to time on your Kubota tractor or whatever tractor you have, that linkage will get loose, and this control lever will get kind of sloppy. You can see this one right here moves forward and backwards right far before it's getting tight. This one doesn't move back and forth quite as far. The side-to-side motion is not a lot of side-to-side motion here. And right here, not a lot of side-to-side motion right here, but we got a lot of play right here. So I'm suspecting that I'm going to find out that the linkage on this side over here is gotten loose. We're going to dive right into this thing and try to disassemble it and take a look at what the linkage looks like on the inside. Take this cover off on this particular Kubota tractor. We'll be using a 12mm deep well socket and an extension. We'll pull these 3 bolts out of the side cover on this side and 3 more on this side, and then we're going to pull this cover plate off. Okay, so right here on the side we got some 12mm bolts, and we're just going to unscrew them. Yours may be a little tight because they put these on with Loctite, and I've already had this cover off a couple of times, so there's no Loctite left on these bolts. But and typically on the cover, I'm not going to put any Loctite back on the cover, but I may put some Loctite on this linkage adjustment just to get it where it doesn't vibrate loose anymore. But if you're having trouble finding that sweet spot to be able to control 3 or 4 different functions, chances are this is part of your problem. We're just going to pull this cover off. We're going to take a look. Okay, I'm going to bring you around so you can get a better view. Okay, we're looking down into the control box right here, and my suspicion was justified. We've got a connection point right here on the linkage that is loose, and I'm going to move the thing around and you'll see the slop in it. You can see that this bolt right here is moving, and this nut is actually pretty loose. Let's see what size wrench it is. It's a 10mm. Okay, so, and you can see now I'm turning and turning and turning. I've turned this thing quite a bit, quite a numerous amount of turns now. That's tightened it up quite a bit. We're going to rotate the camera down because I've spotted another spot that's also loose. Okay, so we're down here at the bottom now. This going up this way, going up that way is the top of the linkage where it comes down from your control. And down here at the bottom, these are your actual valves that control the backhoe. And this second one over, 1, 2, second one over right there, if you watch that thing, you'll see, I think that's showing up, and I don't know, not a very good view, is it? Let me move you in a little bit closer and see if we can get a better angle. I decided to come on in here handheld so I can get you a better view, but you see that? That is a problem, and that is going to keep you from finding that sweet spot when you're running your backhoe and you're trying to do 2 or 3 things at the same time. Pull your boom up, pull your dipper in, rotate your bucket around to either turn it down and maintain its grade with the land or the ditch that you're trying to dig, or curl it up and bring up your soil that you're trying to bring out of your ditch. So that right there will definitely impede your learning ability, your ability to learn how to operate these machines efficiently. And they do come loose like that. And I'm gonna come over here to the other side. Well, I'll tell you what, let's follow this thing on up here. Okay, if we get up here to the top, and this was the top one, this is the one that I just tightened back up, and I really didn't fully tighten. It's not fully tight yet. So this one right here is plenty tight. This one on the back is tight. It's just this one on the front and down here that's loose down here at the bottom right here. This one right there that's loose. Now the other side over here, this is the other lever. Okay, we got, where are we at here? That one right there, she's starting to get loose. She's starting to loosen up. You can see a little bit of play right there. So that needs to be tightened up. Now that one right there seems to be plenty tight, no problems. Alright, let's come on up here to the top. Alright, there we go. Kind of, let's see if we can zoom on out a little bit. Alright, right here at the top, okay, we got a little bit of loose right back here on this back one right there. That one right back there is just a little bit loose. I can see it. I don't know if it's showing up on the camera, but I can see that it's moving. This one right here seems to be plenty tight. This one right here seems to be plenty tight. So those shouldn't be a problem. So I think what we're going to do is maybe make a trip up to Lowe's or Home Depot somewhere and either get some blue Loctite. We're not going to get anything real aggressive. We don't want to get anything that we can't take back off of there. And we'll either get some blue Loctite or maybe just some lock washers and try to lock that thing down. And we'll clean him up a little bit and maybe spray a little lithium grease on these little ball joints right here, or put some oil or something in there. Inside of mine in here kind of gets dirty because I'm missing the little thingy-mabobbers that go up here for the, most of the backhoes have that little rubber piece that goes on here. It kind of goes around here, so can't nothing really fall down in there. But when I bought this machine, it was used, and those two pieces right there were missing. So I'll have to order them, maybe try to keep. I imagine it does help to keep trash and debris from falling down. And you can see I got some stuff down here in the bottom. Got some little acorns down there, whatnot. When I first got this machine, every one of these was real loose, and I opened them up and tightened everything up. And when I did, there was a mouse nest right in the bottom of here, and little field mice was living in this thing. So I had to clean all that out to do what I had to do. Anyway, that's just a little sample of what kind of goes on and how to fix it. So I'll run up here to Lowe's, get a few things, and we'll go ahead and get this fixed. Thanks for watching. Okay, so I went and got some split lock nuts. Split lock washers, 6mm. And I used them on the top because I got these heim joints at the top, and they seem to work fine. But on the bottom down there, you can't put lock washers. So I went up and got some 6mm Teflon, nylon locking nuts. And we're going to try that on the bottom and see if that don't lock it down pretty good. And if that don't work, then I'll have to go get some Loctite. Put some Loctite on there. So this was a little bit less expensive than buying Loctite and prep and having to take all that off and clean it and everything, brush it and all. So we're going to try this. Okay, so it seems like it worked. We put nylon locking nuts on the bottom connections, and we used lock nuts on the top connections, and that took all the slop out of these controls. That one's got a little bit more slop in it than this one, but I think that slop that's in there is actually in the heim joint and not in the and it's not a loose bolt, because I've checked every bolt in it. It's not a loose bolt. Nothing in there is loose. So if it's not a lot of play though. It's very, very little. This one's a little tighter, but that's because this one right here gets used the least. Anyway, so what prompted me to do this was we had somebody ask a question on our Facebook group about a tractor and equipment over on Facebook. You can go over there and check it out. Anyway, the question was about they was trying to run a backhoe, and when they would pull back on this lever over here on the right to bring the dipper in, and then pull back on the one on the left to pull the boom up, so that they could, you know, do two functions at one time. And ultimately, the goal is to do 3 functions at one time. Pull the boom up, pull the dipper in, and then adjust the tilt of the bucket either down or up, depending on what you're trying to do. You know, if you're trying to stay with the contour of the ground and just scrape across there, then you're going to be turning it down. If you're trying to get a scoop of dirt out of there, then you'll be naturally scooping it up. So ultimately, you'll be doing 3 functions with this. And then when you're emptying your bucket of dirt, you'll be doing 4 functions, because you'll be swinging the boom as well. So this lever over here swings the boom, as you know, and raises the boom up and down, and that's primarily all this lever does. Swings the boom right to left and raises the boom up and down. This one over here controls your dipper in and out and your bucket. So it's rare that you're going to pull this lever all the way back or all the way in the corner over here. You're basically just going to pull it a little bit and make this come on in kind of slow, okay? And then pull this back just a little bit. If you've got this all the way back and you pull this back and the boom don't do nothing, just the dipper comes in, then just simply let pressure off of this control until the other one starts moving, and that's where your sweet spot is. And that's how you find where your sweet spot is. You just, you know, if you're pulling back on this, and if you're pushing forward on this and the boom is going down, and you want to put the dipper out, and you push on the dipper like this and the dipper's not moving, then you need to let off of this control over here on this side. Let off a little bit and let this one catch up, because basically what you're doing is you're diverting fluid when you do that. You can, with this open, you can see exactly how this thing works. And so, you know, if one's not working, just let off a little bit on the other one. And keep in mind, you don't have to have this thing on full throttle. And there's a good reason not to have it on full throttle, because this has happened to me, and this is one of the leading causes of jerky movements when you're running the backhoe, and you see the jack, you know, it jerks like that, and it, you know, the whole boom shakes and shakes the whole track and everything. You want to avoid that at all costs. And one of the things that causes that is you're running the backhoe, and you got both levers in a position where you're doing two functions. You're pulling the dipper in and you're raising the boom up. And the dipper comes all the way in and won't go any further. And when it comes all the way in and won't go any further, then it's full of fluid, and all the fluid diverts over to this cylinder, and then this thing comes rapidly back up. Or you've got this pulling the dipper back, you've got this pulling the boom back, and then you let off the dipper. All the fluid is going to instantaneously come to the boom, and then it's going to come slamming back. It's going to pick up speed, I mean really fast. It's going to bam, and that's going to shake the tractor all over the place. So it's those sudden changes that create a lot of unnecessary shaking of the tractor and you, the operator, while you're operating, because it's shaking you too. So, you know, give it a little bit. Don't give it wide open. Just give it a little bit, and then give it a little bit over here. And if it's not moving, let off. You know, let off on one so the other one can go. And just if you let off a little bit, they'll both be going. You know what I mean? And you'll be able to do 2-3 functions at one time. You know, these machines, the thing you got to keep in mind is these are not trackhoes. They're not huge trackhoes that you can just, you know, because even on a huge trackhoe, you can stall a huge trackhoe. You can get a huge trackhoe in a position where it won't function either. So use your equipment within the boundaries and the limitations of what it's designed to do. And anyhow, just a couple quick tips. Didn't mean to keep on ranting on, but I'm glad I got this right here fixed. This is like the second or third time I've had to tighten this up. Last time I just, you know, the other times that I tightened it up, all I did was just went in there and tightened it up with a wrench. I didn't do anything to it. Putting the nylon nuts in there and putting lock washers up here. I did put lock washers up here once before and in a couple other places just to try it, and those places did not come loose this time. So the lock nuts on the top should help that. The nylon nuts on the bottom should take care of that, and everything is nice and turning like it should. So I'm happy with that. Thanks for watching.